I'm Angelina. I'm from Wilmer, Minnesota. I decided to come on this trip the first time last February in 2023 because some of my friends had already gone on this trip once or twice, and at that time I had resigned from law enforcement and I had missed that, and they had talked about how impactful this trip was, and so like in my mind I thought like, oh yeah, we're gonna like bust down doors and it's just gonna be this awesome thing. We're gonna rescue these girls, and then once I got here it was like the complete opposite, but it was incredible, just how like all the education and all the love and compassion that that God brought into my life and into everyone else around, and just really opening my eyes to human trafficking. And then after that, I got to help co-lead a trip for some youth girls at my church. And it was just awesome to see more of a compassion side with the youth with them. But now I'm back again because it's just, God's put this this thing on my heart that I just love being with the vulnerable. You don't get to meet people, you don't get to like see where they're truly at without being vulnerable yourself. You don't get to break down any barriers without showing them who you are in your story. A week before my first trip, I had found out that my husband had relapsed on some heavy drugs like heroin and benzos and meth, and going into that, just not knowing like, okay, am I even supposed to be on this trip? But knowing like the enemy's gonna try and prevent me from going on this trip and prevent me from doing God's work and sharing His word and His love. And so it was really heavy walking into the first week, knowing like grieving of what I thought my life was going to look like, and what this next week was going to look like, helping this team with human trafficking, but just walking into it very, very open. And our first night walking along the strip and seeing so many homeless people, people that were drugged up, people, in very risque outfits, and just thinking back, like that could be my husband on the street here at any moment in time, and that could be me with my past of being an at-risk youth and being vulnerable. And so knowing that can be any of us at any moment in time, and whatever the circumstances may be, whether you have that childhood trauma or just making one little honest mistake, and that can change your entire path in that moment. My story, it ties in with sharing that with people on your team, and not keeping that to yourself, because God's given you these gifts, God's given you a story, and you are to share that. You're to share that with people that you meet, and because it's not just for you. People will learn from your story and you'll learn from theirs, and that'll just help equip you into this mission even more, to really see these people for who they are, where they're at, and know that they're struggling just as much as you may be. They just have different circumstances and just on a different path than you are. And so just being able to get down on your knees and meet them where they're at, and know that that you need to walk alongside with them, and pray with them and pray over them and share the love that they might never have experienced and so desperately need. Yeah, so I would recommend for someone who hasn't been on this trip before, that is very new to human trafficking of any form, just of course pray about it. Spend that time with God and see what He's leading you to do and where to go, and just to really have an open heart with that, to know like it's not going to be probably what you think, that He's going to tear down those walls and show you the heartbreak of human trafficking, but He's also going to show you the hope and the transformations that can happen through partnering.